I hope you are enjoying. We have seen amazing facts, basics, and nature. Now, the only one thing left in relatives, that is action plan. And when we complete this, we will be completing the entire integral family system. Let's see it. The action plan is going to be in a different phase. First, we need to have the concept, mindset. We need to create a mindset how to see our relatives. Normally, we will have two types of approach. That is, that relative never called me on my birthday. That relative didn't, helped me in any ways when I asked him. That relative is no use for me. That relative is childish. That relative is immature. All those statements you will get. I completely agree that all those things could be valid also, and you don't need to be in touch with that person. But the approach which we need to have towards those kinds of relative is, don't see them as who they are to you. Then what should we do? We need to see who they are to your loved ones, right? So that person may be your mother's brother. For your mother, he is everything. That person may be your father's cousin, and they had an amazing chemistry in their childhood, and your father valued him, and that person, your father's cousin, helped your father in many ways past then. So your father respects him for those reasons. You should not see those relatives as, with respect to you, who they are. No, you need to have the perspective, those relatives are who to my loved ones, because you value your mother and father, right? So this way you need to see the relatives. The second thing what we need to do is, we need to remember the past. There could be a moment where financially they didn't help, but physically they might have helped. I still remember my mother saying, one of my relative, my mother's, my grandmother, my mother valued her so much, a distant relative, because she always hold my mother's hand during her first delivery. And in that painful moment, that grandmother helped my mom, and my mom still values it. That means I also should value that grandmother. You're understanding that? So likewise, we need to remember the love which we got from the relatives, and also the help which we got from the relatives. This always matters. This is not only for your loved ones, but also to you. So you also should remember who and all helped you, and who and all gave love to you. Then future matters. This is also very, very interesting thing. People always think about themselves and they don't see the future. We need a visionary perspective in every life. That is, we need to see the future not only with our perspective, but also to our children's perspective. Because when my son or my daughter lives their life down the line in 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, at that time, these are the relatives, those who are going to be in a position, elderly, matured relatives, those who are going to guide him or her. So I need to make sure that those relatives value my children, and my children value them, so that later in the point where I am not there for them, they should know whom to go and ask intellectual help, right? So this way we need to design the relatives based on the future also. Don't think selfishness is bad, because it's a mutual, and also it is good. We are not extracting somebody and making that person to lose himself or herself for our sake. No, it is about knowledge, it's about guidance, it's about moderation. And for ourselves, this will be required when we get old. And the most beautiful is the third one, which I like very much. It cannot be for your children or for your sake, but for that relative's sake. Sometimes we need to maintain the relationship. This is the most beautiful perspective. Maybe the relative needs you in the future, so you need to be in touch with the relative. What a pure thought. That thought is not selfish, right? That thought is selfless. So for the relative's sake, though that person is immature, though that person is stupid, though that person's lifestyle is not good, but I am sure that that person needs my help in the future. For that sake, I want to be in touch with that person. That's a beautiful approach. That also should be there. And the last one is functions. This is an action plan physically, what you are supposed to do. Function is the gateway to our relatives. We need to value functions or relatives, festivals, everything to the high extreme. Why so? Because when a function happens, we need to attend as much as possible. We need to push our limits and make sure that we will be there for them in their function. Yes, definitely not all the time it is possible. There could be many things may come up, and it can be work, or it can be health, or it can be social pandemic. Anything can be there, and you may miss a function. Yes, but that doesn't mean that it is done, therefore you can't repay. No, you can correct it. How? By doing a home visit. You can go to their house and you can visit them in person. And whatever you do with respect to function or visiting, representing a family, you should not go alone. You should go with your whole family, your members, your wife, son, daughter, or father. When you go as a team, you will get to know more relatives, and you would get to know more people, and very nice interaction will happen. Otherwise, what happens? You go alone, one or two people, you say hi bye, and you give the cover or gift, and you sit in the row and scroll the cell phone, eat, and escape from the place. And you can't call this as meeting your relatives. This is just giving an attendance. And also, you should spend more time. The second perspective is, remember names and their relationship. It is not only with your relatives, but also to your spouse relatives and their, if your wives or husbands, so and so relative is very close, then you should know that person's name, that person's relationship, how it is connected with you, etc. This makes your relationship stronger, not only with that person but also with your partner. Your partner value your effort in understanding her or his relatives. And the last one is close relatives list. You need to make a list of people whom you want to be in touch with. You do based on whatever requirement which we mentioned above, and you choose a list of relatives and make sure that at least once in a while you will talk to them and say hi bye and say how they are, and know their status, etc. So you should not just think that there is a family group and I say hi there, or I say good morning, or I say happy birthday, because of which I am in touch. No, WhatsApp can't make your relationship stronger at all. In a way, WhatsApp groups, family groups may even detroit our relationship. But yes, to some extreme, the updates will happen, what is happening where. But until and unless you make a call, until and unless you make a visit, it's not going to happen. The closeness will come only when you speak. The closeness will come only when you meet and interact personally. So these are the action plans which I thought of sharing with you with respect to relatives. We have successfully completed the integral family systems, all the videos. Thank you for watching. Let us get into the next segment, which is work-life balance. Thank you.